I don't think racism exists. You have to learn how to exploit them. Every male should be able to operate on the levels just because our life is completely stressful. Is this person inside your mind that dumb still that they can't be trained? That's what you're trying to tell me. But God don't help lazy people. My best time in the military was when I was deployed. Tough times don't last, only tough people do. I wasn't able to see my daughter the way I wanted to. This is when I think I understand money. Nah, I'll take that. I wouldn't go that far saying it. Air Force is probably one of the worst branches. Everything in the military is just mental, man.
So what's going on, Adrian?
Good, bro. How about you? What's going on with you?
I'm here. I heard you just left. You left the military, or how'd that go?
Yeah, so it's basically like a retirement.
Yeah.
You can choose to retire early or retire later at the 20 years. You just get a little better benefits when you retire 20 years.
20 years?
20 years of your life, man. That's what I chose to do. After 6, I was done.
Oh, so you can leave after 6?
You can leave after after the end of any contract. So yeah.
So a contract means that you have to get deployed?
Not necessarily. So a contract just means that you have to serve those military obligations, whether it's training, deployment, different exercises, specialized units and stuff. A contract locks you into whatever you really want, whatever they really want you to do overall.
Okay, so they have like a range of how long the contracts are, or they average on 1 year contract? How they go?
Usually average about 4 years. 4 years is the standard
Okay.
military contract.
Yeah.
So about every 4 years, you will see a bunch of people re-enlisting. If they're coming around the same time, you see like the E1s re-enlisting around every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You get some people that come in on a short contract. When I initially enlisted,
Mm-hmm.
I came in on a 3-year contract instead of a 4-year contract because of the skepticism about it.
Okay.
So that's the part that I like. You can choose a shorter contract. If it's not for you, you just dug out the 3 years, man. If not, then find a way to get kicked out, and good luck after that.
So when you so let me ask you this now. So that's interesting that you say find a way to get kicked out.
Mhm.
So the people that I be seeing on the street that's homeless and they say that they're veterans, that's them getting kicked out, or?
I would say, me knowing what I know now, most of the people you run into that say they were veterans, it's a complete lie.
Oh yeah.
It's just a way to ponder on somebody's emotions. Oh, like, sad to see this veteran out here homeless. We pay something every month. Every service member pays something every month called Assistance Veterans Living.
Yeah.
It's like $1 or 50 cents about out of all of our checks, right? So, that basically funds veterans without homes. Every service member have to pay it. So every service member is paying $1 something every month.
Okay.
Well, every 2 weeks.
So you should not be homeless as a veteran.
No, unless you're a dishonorable veteran, yeah.
Okay.
If you're a dishonorable veteran, then more than likely, then you get no benefits at
So
all.
a dishonorable veteran is what exactly?
I like to say dishonorable veteran is basically equivalent to a felon, man. There's some places you can't even vote as a dishonorable veteran.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because when you commit felonies in the military, you get dishonorably discharged.
Okay.
So it's essentially around the same thing. Now, some branches are like for the Air Force.
Yeah.
Anybody out there, the Air Force is probably one of the worst branches when it comes on to like dishonorable discharge. The Air Force will give you a dishonorable discharge for basically failing the drug test. Man,
Yeah.
I've known a couple people that got like failed some UAs, or failed AUA, not even some, failed AUA.
Yeah.
And they kicked them out, dishonorable discharge.
UA is what? Urinary analysis?
Urinary analysis, yeah.
Okay.
And that's very random. One day you go in and they tell you, hey, nobody's leaving until they pee. That's kind of how it usually is.
I guess the people in the army, military.
Mhm.
Okay, so before I even get there,
Okay,
army, military. Like normally when someone said that, oh yeah, I served,
Mhm.
I just automatically say you're army. But recently I realized that y'all got mad different branches, and I
Right.
just categorize all of y'all under army.
Mhm.
Right, so what's the difference really? Because I always just say army.
Yeah, so you have 5 branches in the military, the U.S. military, right?
Yeah.
So you have the Marines, the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, and new one is the Space Force, right?
They got a space force.
Yeah, they got a Space Force. Donald Trump brought along the Space Force. So yeah, we have a Space Force. So we have 5 branches of the military. People usually refer to the Army because it's the older and bigger branch. So most of the time when somebody's going off to the military, is usually to the Army.
Okay.
So that association with the word army and using the army as the umbrella for the military is oftentimes used by multiple people, not just you. Don't feel no way about it. Everybody does it.
So where you went, where were you in the actual army?
I was in the army. I was in the branch, the army branch, basically.
So how was it in there? Like, because I always hear that it's rough. Like they treat you like trash. Like, is it really?
Yeah, I would say it's rough, especially basic training.
Yeah.
And looking back at it now, it's supposed to be that way because it's a test to test you like mentally, not really to test you mentally, to prepare you mentally for like very mentally challenging situations that you could possibly find yourself in.
Yeah.
Not everybody will, but most people do find themselves in those situations in which somebody's screaming at you, yo, help me with this, help me with this. You don't want to be in a situation where your comrades' lives are dependent on it, and that's the first time you're being yelled at or screamed in your face, like, give me this, give me this, give me this. So they want you to learn how to, operate under some level of stress. Like the military usually keeps your stress level up. Mm-hmm. That's why most people, if you stay in 20 years, they usually bald or fully gray. Because the military have a good way of keeping that stress level up, because your stress tolerance has to be very high, so that if you end up in a situation where like you're pinned down or something's bad's going on, then you're supposed to be able to can work under that stress level.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to work under pressure.
It would be ideal to learn how to work under pressure.
So it's not a lot of people. So being the fact that that's how they trained you guys, right? Mm-hmm. Now that you're out, you find that it helped you in, your everyday life?
Yeah, 100%. I think every male, I wouldn't speak on the female nature of things, but I think every male should be able to operate on the levels, just because our life is completely stressful. Mm-hmm. Most of the times we are the ones dealing with, well, now in America, yes, women are dealing with it as well too, but look how women deal with stress compared to how males deal with stress. Most of the time the men can deal with something and be like, all right, cool, man, I get to it when I get to it, or he just gonna take whatever comes with it and just keep rolling with the punches. Most of the time a woman would usually break down and try to seek out help. Men do too, but women would usually break down under the stress mm-hmm. and kind of just give up.
How long is it?
6 years.
Okay, so for the 6 years that you've been in, what's the most stressful situation that you've actually been in? Was it from basic training, or was it actually from in your deployment?
I would say it was a training exercise, to be honest.
It was more stressful than actually being deployed?
Yeah, okay. I think my best time in the military was when I was deployed. I think a lot of other veterans would say the same thing.
Yeah.
You have a mentality of just once I'm alive, I'm okay. It's like you don't have to worry about how you're gonna eat. You have to worry about where you're gonna live. You have to worry about rent, cost of food. It's like you're living basically completely on Uncle Sam's dime, and he got state-of-the-art equipment that helps you to an extent. So I would say deployment, it was just basically all I experienced was just IDFs, like indirect fire.
Okay.
So you would be sleeping and you would just hear like the alarm would usually go off, incoming. Yeah. But then they have something in where they can intercept those rockets coming in, and it would shoot it down. Something very similar, like if you don't know what I'm talking about, you could probably look and see like something like the Iron Dome that Israel has.
Yeah.
If you see how the Iron Dome works, it's something very similar to what the military use on like FOBs. That's a forward operating base as well. That's what most of your bases in the Middle East and those war terrains.
Yeah.
They would consider them FOBs and COBs and so on. Okay. It's all the same thing. It's just a forward operation. Some of them are forward operation bases where most of your operations happen there and they push them out to different places.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically what it is. So the whole time you're there, you're just kind of chilling with your friends. It's like, it's kind of like me and you growing up, man. We just grew up with each other and just find stuff to do every single day. Okay. We go to the gym.
Yeah.
And
while you deployed?
Yeah, most of the people come back in incredible shape, bro. Because you're eating good, you can't go out and eat the junk food. Because, well, if you're in like Kuwait and stuff, that you can't eat the junk food because it's a little bit more habitable there. Mm-hmm. But in places like in Afghanistan and Iraq and stuff, mm-hmm. Nah, man, you're gonna eat what they give you, and usually they feed you right because they want you to perform great.
Yeah.
And that's some of the best food you're gonna get military wise though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, so all the good food is in the military.
Nah, I would take. I wouldn't go that far saying it. I would say for the conditions you're in,
Yeah.
it's the best you're gonna get,
Okay.
and it's healthy
Mhm.
to an extent.
So I see a lot of times when people go to basic training,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of what they have you guys doing is just running.
Mhm.
Like, why y'all run so much?
So other people have their own opinions as to why they run it so much, but I have my own opinions. I think it's two things that really matters. I think
Yeah.
they want you to look as running as something as a stress reliever at the same time. Because what they usually do at the end of the week, they usually have you go on a fun run, right? And you run at a slow pace to the point where everybody should be, because everybody there should be at the same fitness level after 8 weeks. That's the goal, right? So you have a fun run to clear your mind, prepare for the weekend, and come do it again, right? And two, everything in the military is endurance, man. Like, nobody really wants you to be explosive in the military,
Okay.
right? You don't need to be explosive. You have a M4 that can be explosive for you. So they need you to be able to put if something happened, put you on my back and I can just walk with you for at least 10 to 20 miles,
Yeah.
right? That's the goal. So that's why they want you to stay within a certain range of weight and height, and well, not really height, but like weight,
Yeah.
so that if something happens, then I can pick you up, put you on my back, and everybody just cover my 6 and my 12, and we go. So that's the goal of why they harp on running so much, the endurance and the stamina of things.
So you just have to outlast, basically.
Basically, that's all they want you to do. They want you to have the mentality of just don't ever quit, don't ever stop, don't ever quit, just keep going.
Okay, so like in training,
Hmm.
when you quit, what happens? Like, they have people that actually,
Like in basic training.
yeah.
Yeah, I had one dude that quit in my basic training. I actually still remember his name. I'm not gonna say it, but he wasn't fit for it to begin with.
Okay.
I don't think he really wanted to be there.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those where his dad served and his dad wanted him to serve, and it was kind of a family pressure.
Yeah.
So he came and then he was gone he didn't really leave in 2 weeks, but they kicked him out and put him in like a medical hold for like about 2 weeks. And then he came back to us to help us, like at the end of our training session, the 8 weeks, he came back and helped us move our stuff out.
Okay.
We came there with him and left him there at the same time. So yeah, you can quit, but when you quit, they make it uncomfortable for you, man.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
they do. So they make it uncomfortable because
So hold on, when you quit, you don't just leave right away?
no. Because the problem is that day when you in process into the military is not the day when you go and sign the contracts down at your local recruiting station. Okay. You could back out at that time.
Yeah.
Where you really can back out is when you get that ID. When you get the ID,
Yeah.
that's like your actual entry in the military. So he basically, I think that they're gonna have to process you the right way.
Okay.
They want to process you the right way because they don't want you to get out and still have access to some of the things that somebody who did 20 years did.
Okay.
So they're gonna be very nitpicky on certain things because certain benefits you just need to serve 1 day in the military,
Really?
and certain benefits you need to serve a full contract in the military. So it takes a lot of time to go through and actually sit there and take 1 or 2 things.
No. Okay, so he quit, right? So is it that he was actually not in like you can physically see that he wasn't in shape for it, or like?
He wasn't in shape for it at all.
Okay.
He wasn't in shape for it at all, and mentally he wasn't there. Because the minute he came, because the first 3 nights are the worst.
Yeah.
Your first 3 nights, they deprive you of sleep. They purposely deprive you of sleep. So they make you go to sleep around maybe like, pretty sure he changed by now, so you can't hold me to anything. But you probably go to sleep around maybe 9 o'clock, and they got you up by like 12. That first night.
9 p.m.
9 p.m. and you're up by 12, and you go until 9 p.m. the next night.
Oh yeah.
And then at that same time, they probably wake up like 2. Because you all there just like sleep deprived, but they have these drills cycling out. So they have 1 here today or 3 here today, and they have the next 3 coming and taking over. So they coming in fresh.
Yeah.
They just keep coming in fresh and fresh and fresh. And those first 72 hours is where they kind of stomp on you, to be honest, because they want to see what you like with sleep, like sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
Have you ever been sleep deprived before?
Yeah. Can't function.
Right. Yeah. It's like the worst thing to do when you sleep deprived. Like some people are like pointless. They're a waste of a fucking specimen at that point. But yeah, that's basically what it did the first 72 hours. And I think after that first 72 hours,
Yeah.
he was done.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think it was one of those kids that were just sheltered all his life, man. So nothing really hard ever happened to him. So
Yeah.
that kind of hit him like over the head.
But I've seen some people that, to me, they seem very soft, and they went inside the military and they made it through.
Looks are deceiving, man. The bigger dudes, I always heard this: special operations, the dudes that you think supposed to pass the special operations course, physical fitness tests and stuff, or like courses, usually don't. It's usually the dudes that you never expect will pass it, and it's because everything in the military is just mental, man.
Yeah.
It's more of like a mental beating on you. So like, I seen posts where they were like, the military have taught me how to take a L and just go on about my day, right? That's so true. I remember when I was like a E1, E2, I was stationed upstate New York, Fort Drum.
Yeah.
Man, I remember there was a E7, man, that just always right up my neck. As soon as I got in, right up my neck, asking me, why you didn't do this? Why you didn't do that? And like, as I gained rank, he kind of told me, he was like, dude, I thought you were soft, man. I was destined to break you, dude.
Yeah.
And he was like, you never try to hit me. He was like, I was surprised. And he was like, you never made a complaint against me. You kind of just dealt with it. I was like, after like 2 days, I just kind of ignored you, to be honest. Like after them two first days, I didn't even hear nothing you said. And he was like, interesting. He said, I'll make it harder for the next one. So it's a goal for them to like test you mentally, because at the end of the day, like if you're in my platoon, I'm essentially have to be able to go to war with you, so I have to trust you to an extent.
Yeah.
So every leader, when you come in, they're going to test you in some way.
Okay, so y'all have, so when they say platoon, so that means that, okay, so as in the army, y'all are broken up into different groups. So in, okay, so let me ask you this question. So can you trade out, let's say for instance, I have whatever, this person and this soft, I can trade them and send them to a different platoon?
Yeah, so we do that all the time. So like, because I got out as an E6, right? So I actually had a squad, not a platoon. So a squad in the element, which is a little bit different. Platoon, trying to change from platoon to platoons, it's a little bit harder because those two platoon sergeants has to agree on it, and usually they're not, because he's not gonna want the soft one and trade out one of his best. Or if they have like two piece of shits and they just want to get rid of one, they're like, hey bro, I'll take this one if you take that one. They would do that. But most times it's usually the squad level where we can reason with the next squad leader, because people impact people's life differently. I probably can never get through to you, and he probably can get through to you. So and I probably see it, and I probably, hey man, you want to just take him and I'll take somebody else? And he'd be like, yeah, cool. So it depends on that. You can swap it out. Now if you, so it starts off like at a squad level. So your squad is, I had a squad basically like, usually have about 6 or 7 people. In your platoons, you're probably gonna have maybe, it could be as big as like 70 something people, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, it just depends on what type of unit you're in. Like your transportation units are gonna be a lot more people, but you have like 67 people, 60 to 70 people, and then in your company, that's where you have like 100 and something thousand. That's where you have like your first sergeants and your commander. So your platoon sergeants talk to your first sergeant, your first sergeant relates to the commander. And then you have a battalion that's like made up of maybe 2,000 people. And you have a command sergeant major that's basically the equivalent of your first sergeant. And you had your commander, who is going to be a captain. You're going to have, at that point in time, you're going to have maybe like a lieutenant colonel, like a more bigger head, and he controls the governance of his he governs his battalion. So he passes down orders down to the commander passes it to the first sergeant, and he relays it to,
so it's just a chain of command.
So basically, like we were talking earlier, and you was like, there was a pretty good question you asked me. You said, how does like a team affect, how, you asked me something about a team.
So basically, so you know, Bread Bubs Army is, I look at it more like a family, which is equivalent to what y'all would call a squad, right? So it's a tightly knitted unit, and y'all have one goal, right? And but the only thing is, there's so many different personalities in a squad. Like, what drives you guys? Like, how do you guys sit together? Because there's so many different personalities. Like, what are the elements that you would say are needed in order to keep the group together?
I think what most of us do, they kind of teach us this a lot, is find the weaknesses and strengths in your squad. You have to learn how to exploit them. You find your stronger guy, you find your smarter guy, and you exploit them for the best things that they can bring forward to the team. So most of the times you're gonna have the average, man. You're gonna have the really strong guy.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the really smart guy. You're gonna have the dude that's lazy. You're gonna have the dude that's very hardworking but stupid. And you just make him strong and make the guy that's lazy. You try to push him somewhere where he can use his brain. Let him use something.
Yeah.
So you just had to find like your strength and weakness inside your squad.
Yeah.
Then you tell your platoon sergeant what, because you write up monthly like summaries on them. They call them like what do they call them? Counseling statements. So I would basically draw you in if like we were inside this and say, hey, this is what I saw you did this month. This is what I think you need to improve on. Boom. Your platoon sergeant would go and read them over. So he kind of have an idea of what's really going on in his platoon at the same time. Because remember, he can't watch over 70-something people.
Yeah.
So he depends on his squad leaders to feed him back that information.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's actually dealing with the squad, because then he has to report that to the first one. So the first one knows his capability as well.
Gotcha.
So it all runs through that chain of command. That's why I said I think that chain of command is like the most vital piece of a team. Like having a hierarchy and having the people under him working effectively to feed him the information he needs, so that your commander can make very, very good decisions and not put the whole platoon at risk.
Yeah, that's so interesting, because
Yeah.
by you just saying that, it just made me think of a scenario that I can, set up Red Bub's army, like where, as you say, you create a team and then you're in charge of maybe 4 or 5 people, and your job is to, you guys are to learn each other, as they say, figure out the strengths, weaknesses, and being the fact that they're different squads or platoons, then at the end of it, we can literally have, competitions within. You guys do that too?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah?
We did. They even got to a point where there was trophies, man, and like some point in times we used to do it with like companies, different companies in our battalion.
Yeah.
It would get heated, man. They would like, so we had like they call them guide-ons.
Yeah.
It's like basically flags representing your company, what company you're in.
Okay.
We would like say, hey man, let's do this competition. I could take your guide on, right?
Yeah.
The first ones is never gonna agree with it. They're not. There's always gonna be a problem at the end of the day, right? But we used to do it amongst each other, like maybe like a race, a relay race or something.
Yeah.
So then we would just take their guide on and stuff, and we would basically do like messed up stuff with it, like either put it upside down somewhere, throw it in the garbage, just violate them afterwards. So like when you lose it, they give it to you, you just take it, cause you could break it down and just throw it in the garbage, and then take a picture of it and shoot it to somebody like in their chat, and they say, go pick your shit up in the garbage. Sometimes you get in trouble. Most times you can get in trouble for it. Like we got in trouble for it all the time.
Well, I see. It's good fun.
Yeah,
good fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it also turns around and help your platoon sergeant as well. Your platoon sergeant relies on so many things, man. So like he can see which squad is the strongest.
Yeah.
He can see which squad is the more effective critical thinkers.
Yeah.
He can see which ones give a shit and which ones don't. So he can see his best team. If he had to do something that is like a no-fail mission, I can send them.
Yeah.
If it's like a mission where not that critical,
Yeah.
I'm gonna send them.
Yeah.
So that's how you have to, like, as a leader, like you're a leader as a Red Bob Army, you have to understand, like, if somebody call me and say, hey, I want to find somebody who can do my taxes, but I really need somebody good.
Yeah.
If you have 3 people that does taxes, you're gonna find your best to offer up, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the same concept. It's just knowing your team and knowing who's the best and who needs work, and just keeping it and be honest with people. I think that's one thing I didn't like about the military. Everybody was scared to be honest with somebody.
Okay.
If I'm not performing, you tell me I'm not performing.
Yeah.
I would never know until you tell me.
I would never even think that. I would always think that in the military, that's one of the I would think that that's one of the most honest places, because like just seeing on TV how brutally they're rough on you. So I would just think that the honesty would just be easy to relate.
Yeah. So I think the problem is, and this is the dark side of the military nobody really talk about, is that I can get you in trouble by doing that though.
Yeah.
There is ways and means of working the system, like just like every other system is a system that can be worked. So there'll be a situation as to where if you come to me, we look the same, and you came and you said, hey bro, you're not doing what you need to do. You need to tighten up and do this. You could come and tell me the exact same way. I can go and file a report on you saying that I think that you just don't like me because of how I look or what I said to you before, and you're gone.
What the hell? So,
Just to deconflict things, and because of all these narratives, remember, like, people go missing and people die and all, because the military don't want that negative stigma.
yeah,
They don't even investigate it for real. They really just, you go here, don't talk to each other again.
wow,
So it's like, as a leader, you really don't want to do it because you don't want to have to deal with all of that on the back end.
yeah,
So it's like, some leaders find a nice way of saying it. Some leaders find a very unique way of, like, dealing with their squad.
yeah.
Some people just can't get through to their platoon or the whole. So it's like, they just screwed.
So was it always this way, or is this recent? Because I know the world has gotten really soft.
It's been recent.
Oh, it's recent.
Yeah, it's been recent. It's always been that way, but it's being used a lot more now.
Okay.
It's like people starting to understand that this is a way I can go and, get what I really want done.
Yeah.
So everybody is just using it.
It's funny because just the other day I saw this guy. He was talking about one of his employees, and he said he looked at the guy and was like, "Yo, what the hell did you just tell me?" Because he said that because how the system is set up right now, that there's so many loopholes and people are seeing them, and he said he don't blame them because he said it's the government allow all these things, to fly by. But he was like, this guy came in late, right? So the guy came in late for work, and he was like, "Yo, bro, this is like your 5th time late this week. You only work 5 times, bro. You late every day." He was like, "Yo, I'm gay." So he was like, "Wait, what?" He was like, "That's
what does that have to do with you being late?"
Exactly. He was like, he said that they use that as like a cheat code because he said, now that if I try to discipline you, now I'm discriminating against you.
Yeah, that's the lines I was kind of trying to get at. Yeah. So, and that is one thing too. And then you have some people use the harassment way as well too.
Yeah.
That would make things happen like instant if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, some people may look at me and say, "Damn, why you think that the sexual?" I mean, most of the time it's being used the wrong way.
Yeah.
Not all of the times. I just want to make that very clear because there's stuff like that happens in there.
Yeah.
But most of the times it's being used the wrong way.
Okay.
And it's like, it comes to nothing most of the time.
No, being the fact that, because I know that it's a lot that you guys have to do in the military, right? Like, how do you balance that with your regular day life? Like, or is that non-existent anymore? Like,
it's a unique challenge, I would say.
Yeah.
I think my thing used to be where from Monday to Friday,
Yeah.
solely Army around the clock.
Yeah.
Like, if I get a call, I gotta go. And on the weekends is kind of where I detox from it a little bit. I would go and have fun, do stuff, but it's like you just have those basically Friday evening to Sunday morning.
Yeah.
To kind of detox. But it always felt like enough, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know if that's just what we were groomed to think that it is enough, but it always felt like just enough. Now I think it gets complicated when you have a family, when you have like kids and stuff, and it gets a lot complicated. But that too is a reason as to why a lot of people leave at that time.
Did that impact your reason for?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't able to see my daughter the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I had to get out to try to make that happen.
Okay, so now that you're out, right? Because as I told you earlier, that I see a lot of people that they say that they were a veteran and they're now homeless and stuff. And you said that if you're a veteran, more than likely you're not gonna be homeless, right? Now,
an honorable veteran.
Honorable veteran.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, with that being said, right? I've also heard that it's hard to find jobs. Is it really for a veteran?
I would say yes, because I would say I think right post 9/11 probably was the easiest. Now people are not really accepting the veterans card anymore, to be honest. It's like they kind of overlooking that. I think some of those people are very, very lazy, and the reason why I say this is because when you get to a certain rank, the actual working side of it goes away. Because when like I was E6, I was going to work and I probably would sit down most of the day. It was more administrative work. Hey, go do this. Hey, go do that. When you get out, it's not no, hey, go do this. It's let's go do this, right? And most of the time, some of these people who do like 20 years and made it to like the highest level that they can in the military, they don't want to hear that I have to pick up boxes and I have to move this and I have to partake in all these manual labor. They think that they've done all of that before, so they come in with a sense of entitlement. And two, Uncle Sam give them that entitlement too, because it makes them seem like they're the 1% of the population that need to be treated differently. And I think that the only people I have a little bit of concerns for is the disabled vets. I think that they should give an opportunity because most of them are very hardworking people and just end up in a very bad situation. So those would be the only people I have a sympathy for, and I think most of America does as well too. I find it hard that America would look at a man walking in there with a prosthetic leg and just, if he meets all the qualifications and he was a veteran, they won't give him the job.
Yeah, that's true. That's a fair take on it.
Yeah.
Because I can see the sense of entitlement where it's like, yo, I serve for this country.
Yeah.
Give me this job.
Absolutely. Everybody, even when they're in there, they would come back. We would come back to the States and we'd be like, we think that everything needs to be free for us for like 3 months. Right? And it's like, really, dude? Like, you have Navy SEALs that's doing way worse stuff than we are, and they probably not come back with that level of entitlement. So why do we feel the way to come back that way?
That's true.
Yeah.
So what keeps you grounded in that level? Because you served, right? And for you to have that mentality on it, like, cause you even looking at it like, yo, you actually have to be qualified for the job that you want. Like, what kept you grounded in that regard? Okay.
I think when I just think about the fact of, you know, me and you put our pants on the same way. There's no difference between that. I'm no big of a man than you are, right? Anything that you put your mind to, you can probably accomplish the same thing that I accomplished. So, and two, I'm 26. I don't think I was sitting in there that long to, you know, create that sense of entitlement for myself. But I think it's just being humble, man. Like I haven't really done anything, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can sit here and say that, yeah, I served and I went to the Middle East, but what about the dudes that went to like Vietnam?
Yeah. True.
Right? That was actually getting their skulls kicked back. Like it get real at that point. Like I didn't have to deal with somebody shooting at me. Yeah, I dealt with a rocket like once a week, but let's be honest, he got shot down most of the times. So it's like, I'm gonna come back and feel like I'm owed the world. I mean, yeah, I would like people to acknowledge that, hey, at least you did something, but I don't go around with the sense of entitlement from everybody. I understand that, hey, bro, I did something that benefited me in some way, and now I just gotta get into the civilian world and I gotta excel there as well to get the same level of respect that I got there. So.
Okay. Now, so with you being deployed and all that, right? Is there like a mantra or quote that, you know, stuck in your head the whole time to kind of like push you through? Like, is there a quote that you live by?
Yeah. So in the deployment setting, I think the one that I used to, because it was very shitty conditions. I think the one I used to like live by myself to was, tough times don't last, only tough people do. And that was by Floyd Mayweather too. Okay. So I always live by, I always knew that I can adapt to anything. I feel like generally, no matter where you put me at, I would always adapt. So I always knew that it's just a matter of time till I adapt. I always can just bet on myself, like it just eventually, until if I'm uncomfortable, give me like 2 weeks, I'm probably gonna be comfortable then. Okay. So I always had that mentality going in there.
Yeah, that's a good mentality. Okay, so now that you're out, right? Normally, people's favorite quotes resonate a lot with them, with the character, who they are, right? So that's the quote that kept you through in the military. Like, what's your actual favorite quote, all-time favorite quote?
I think it's the one by Kobe Bryant, like, rest in peace. It was the one where hard work always outweighs talent every single time. I believe that. I genuinely believe that, because like we were talking earlier, I think that most people who has a talent don't usually step on the talent. They usually don't try to take it to the fullest extent. You have like the 0.1% that actually goes off and like fulfill their talents all the time. So I think somebody who comes in and want it more than you do is gonna always beat you. If my why is bigger than your why, you would never stop me. If I'm doing this for a bigger purpose, your purpose is nothing to me. I'm gonna stop you every single time. Like, I genuinely feel that way. Now, if I feel like maybe I might start second guessing myself, if I feel like well, dude, this dude have a lot fighting for, or this is something that he really wants,
Yeah.
it might make me think twice because I know that you're gonna put in all the effort you can to get it,
Yeah.
and that's where I think that hard works always pay off.
Sure. Okay, and I see the correlation between both of your quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Like tough times don't last. Tough, like it's still hard work at the end of the day.
Hard work. That's the only way you're gonna get something done. Like that's the only way you're gonna get good at something. That's the only way you're gonna excel at what you want to excel. You have to generally put in the work. God will help.
Yeah.
But God don't help lazy people. God will help you if you can help yourself.
Yeah.
You have to show him that you can help yourself first, and he will help you. I generally feel that. I think if you give a shit and actually put an effort to anything you do, and it's just not working, God will help you. That's why I find it very funny where you would have the people that would try something. How many stories you have heard where they try something for years and just keep failing, and then one time, boom, they got everything they ever wanted out of it.
Yeah.
I think that's God. I think God is like, all right, man, you tried, you bust your ass to do it. Like, here you go. I genuinely think so.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
And even there are people that don't look at it as, some people look at it like the universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even if you pay attention to the laws of the universe and the things that they tell in the Bible, they correlate.
Exactly.
They correlate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so many, when it comes on to that side of the house, I think that to actually achieve everything you want in life too, that whole full circle of the human body, like your emotional, your spiritual, your physical, your mental, have to all be in a line at the same time. If one thing is out of whack, you're gonna have a harder time getting into it. That's why you have to get to a point where you feel like your spiritual life is intact, you're physically doing very well, you're not suffering from anything, you're healthy, mentally you know how to, not saying that you're gonna be like, you're not gonna deal with anything mentally, that's weird, that's a crazy thing to say, but mentally you're resilient to some things, and emotionally you have to be able to control your emotions. That's how you play the best way in life. I think you control your emotions, and you can make very, very logical decisions. So I think once you have all those intact, you can ask God for wisdom, in which you should do wisdom and guidance. You exercise logical thinking by controlling your emotions. You're mentally resistant to all the distraction that's coming into you, and you're physically prepared to fight off anything that comes your way. I think that's the best way you can do it in life. So I think if you have all those things together, I think you'd be okay.
I just realized that you're very articulate, right? What caused this?
I don't think I'm that articulate, but
you are. You express yourself very well, right? Is it like just, do you talk a lot or you read a lot? Like what allowed you to be this articulate? Or
I think, honestly speaking, I don't like tying everything back to the military, but that's where it started, because I was forced. Well, you know me best, bro. Like, this is like, I could probably talk to you very well, but I'm a very shy person, like deep down, right? Like, I don't really like coming out of my shell if I don't have to. But I had to like brief generals, brief lieutenant colonels, and they don't want to hear the nervousness in your voice. Because if you sound nervous, you sound unsure. And if you sound unsure, that means people are going to die. And if people die, then somebody's going to take the blame for it. So you have to sound like you know what you're talking about, because if you sound like you don't know, they're going to question everything you say. To avoid the questioning, then you sound like you know what you're doing. They always say, if you're wrong, say it loud and proud. Let somebody correct you on it. It is what it is. They're going to be like, well, he's wrong, but he's confident. So I'm feeling like you just went in there with confidence alone and probably figured it out. So that's how I look at it. And I think that helped me understand that you have to learn how to put your words together. I'm not good at it. I practice it every day. You have to learn to put your words together so people don't think that you don't know what you're talking about. I think if you can sell, I always try to sell, especially like my girl, I always try to sell her on something that I don't know much about, to see if she questions me. Just to see how good I can speak, to see if I can convince her without her even looking at it. And I think most of the time I usually get her, and I usually try it on different people. Some people are a little bit smart, where they're going to be like, I don't think that's right. Or if they know what you're talking about, they will find holes in your conversation. But if you don't necessarily know what I'm talking about, I think I can sell you on most things. And I think that's something that I always try to practice because of that situation. Because they don't know everything.
That's true.
They really don't. So like, if I can sell them on the things that I think that they don't know, just look at their MOS, look at their job. Sell them on the things that you know they don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Sound confident in the things they don't know, and the things that you know they know for sure. You kind of, do you think this is okay? Do you want to change anything on this? You let them give you the feedback on that.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, they want to seem important as well.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Mhm.
So the military helped you a lot in your everyday life then?
I think it helped a lot. I think life challenges on the whole helped me more than anything else.
So like life challenges. So what's a challenge that you went through that at first it seemed like a failure, but then it turned out to be later success?
I would say the situation with my daughter, man, when me and her mom split apart. I wasn't seen. I saw her when she was born. 2 weeks later, she was gone. I didn't see her for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we just wasn't seeing eye to eye on a lot of things, and we tried. I think I will give her the benefit of the doubt. I think she tried as well. I think it was just she wanted stuff one way, I wanted stuff one way, and we never could compromise with each other because of the resentment for each other, in a sense.
Okay.
So that taught me my biggest lessons in life.
Which is?
I think that some things you can't control, you just have to learn how to keep pushing through them.
Yeah.
Like not everything in life that comes around is going to be able to be controlled. You can control it. Some things you just got to learn how to deal with that and just understand that, all right, cool, this is just a matter of time until I figure this out. And then after that, it's going to be okay. Time heals everything, man. I understand that from that situation. Time heals all pain.
Yeah.
Like it's just a matter of time till you figure it out.
They just have a, as they say, endure, which is the reason why they train you all the way they do.
Just have that endurance type mindset. Just never quit, never give up, and just you'd be surprised to see how far you can push yourself. Like, dude, I never knew about. This is when I think I understand money. To be honest, when I got money taken from me without me doing anything. That's my first time in my life where somebody can just say, "Give me this," and there's nothing you can do about it.
What did that? Who did that?
That was a child support.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was put on child support. Then that's the first time I ever had that situation. Because most of the time somebody take money from me. Yo, give me my money back. You know what I'm saying? You go get your money back. And yeah, it was a situation where she felt like she needed child support, in which rightfully so, if you felt that way, right? I'm not knocking you for that. And she took that, and when I sit and thought about it, I was like, damn, like I can't do nothing to control this, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, I did a lot of things to help her. So when that money started getting taken from me, like I was in a hole, dude. It feels like my life was just going down and down. That's when my truck got stolen. I lost all my. Remember when I called you and I tell you like they stole all my clothes and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it felt. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, that's true.
And once you can go through the storm,
Yeah.
you will be able to see the moon, the rainbow on the end of it, the actual rainbow on the end of it, and you would understand that this is why I went through the storm for.
Yeah.
And then the more and more you go through stuff in life, I think that calluses on your mind, the resiliency just keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
Like now, certain things along that caliber,
Yeah.
doesn't even affect me anymore. Like now when she called me and argue about certain things, boop, and I sleep very good at night. It's crazy. But I think that was the biggest lesson I've learned to date. I think so. Because there was somebody I think for me, I never felt genuine love until I felt like I had her.
Okay.
And I think that I felt the genuine love because this person solely depended on me for everything, right? At that moment, it's like I wanted to change every single thing in my life at that point. When she was born, I felt like, all right, I need to start doing good now.
Yeah.
Because I have to be an example for her now. So with that being said, when I did all of those changes and I felt like, all right, cool. Well, not really all. I didn't change anything yet because it's only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
When I thought about all these changes I had to do, I think, and when she got ripped from me, I think that's when it kind of hit me and I was at a low point.
So coming out from that low point, right? What helped you come out from that low point? Is it just time in general, or is it that you realize that, yo, this is the kind of person that I want to be for my daughter, so let me work on being that person?
That's exactly what it is.
So now that you've working on being that person, can you comfortably say that if your daughter was to marry someone like you would be happy?
No, And I said honestly, no. I would say no, because the love I have for my daughter, I want her to have a complete man, and I don't think I'm that complete man yet. Right? I think I'm working myself there. If I have to give myself an honest assessment, I think I'm working myself there, but I don't think I'm a complete man. So I think that the love that I have for my daughter, I want her to experience a complete man, so she don't have to deal with the downfalls of somebody figuring stuff out. Now, I want her to go through stuff with him, because that's how you build a bond.
Yeah.
But I would want her to find a man that's not going to lead her down the wrong path.
Yeah.
And I think now I can't guarantee myself that if she marries somebody like me now, that there won't be certain things that lead her down the wrong path.
Okay.
I think as experience come, I'm only 26, so I'm gonna make a shit ton more mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I think everybody should look at life. You're gonna make mistakes. It's what you learn from the mistakes.
Yeah.
I would think like maybe like a 36-year-old me, 40-year-old me, I think I should probably be somebody desirable for myself, for my daughter. I would think so.
So what's one of the biggest struggles that you have in your personal life?
Patience. Patience is a big thing for me. I don't have a lot of patience.
Okay. So what do you think you've been doing? Like, so now that you know that you don't have that much patience, like what do you actually do to practice patience?
Self-restraint. I purposely go out of my way to restrain myself from certain things.
Okay.
So like there would be like, I wish she was here now, she could tell you that I would go like just randomly just say I'm just gonna do like a 3-day fast. I would just say I'm not gonna use my phone for these 2 days. I would just say I'm not gonna buy anything for this month at all. These are stuff that I do just to practice that in myself, to like, everything does not have to be instant.
Yeah.
Some things you need to learn to wait for it as it comes. Even though I can get it instantly, I'm going to purposely wait for it. So like I practice a lot of self-restraint.
Okay. Yeah, that delayed gratification. Yeah. It's interesting because I was listening to this guy speak the other day, and he was saying that that's the biggest thing that differentiate someone that's going to be a millionaire from someone that's, always going to stay poor. He said just that delayed gratification. So he gave a nice example where he actually said that, which I'll ask you, right? Where he said that if you had to eat a frog, right, to save your family, would you eat the frog before dinner or after dinner? Like, you, regardless of when you eat it, you're gonna save your family. Would you eat it before your dinner or after?
To save my family?
Yeah.
I think I would just eat it after.
Why after?
After the dinner.
Why after the dinner?
I think let me actually think about that for real before I say.
Okay, like
after.
if I tell you gotta eat a frog right now, right?
To save my family.
Yeah, to save your family, right?
And my goal is to save my family.
Your goal is to save your family.
Yeah, I'm just gonna eat it right now.
Alright.
Just to save them.
Okay. Now, well, maybe I slaughtered it a little bit, right? But the whole concept of it is that, okay, the frog is something that you don't really want to do, eating a frog, right? So he always talks about like doing the hard things now, and the other things you enjoy after. So the dinner was actually an enjoyment, right? So it's like some people, they would want to eat the dinner first
and then eat that.
Yeah, because like even me, when I eat food, but I always eat what I don't like first. I eat my vegetables first. I
don't know, man. I'm kind of like a food pig, man. I eat anything, so I can't even tell the last time I had something that I didn't want to eat that I just didn't eat regardless. But that's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
that's very, very interesting. But I think too that you either have front end pain or back end pain.
Yeah,
you're gonna have some pain.
That's true.
Do you want it in your 20s or your 30s when you can fight it off, or do you want it in your 60s and 70s where you don't have the energy to fight it off? If you make it that far, now that's the big thing. Some people be like, "Well, how do I know I'm gonna live that far?" How do you know you're not gonna live that far, right? It's like I can question that, like, what ifs all day. You have to prepare for these stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, like, especially, I noticed this, especially people that comes out of the inner city, especially. We are accustomed to things happening so fast that we have a problem with instant gratification. I think that we are accustomed to things being so fast paced.
Yeah.
We can get everything on a drop of a dime. We can get all the things we needed. We hungry, we go outside, we get something to eat.
Yeah.
I'm feeling for pizza, I can just go get a pizza. Some of these small towns, they don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
Right? That's why they understand that some things take time. Oh, we get it on Friday. Because we usually go out and eat Friday. So they have to wait until Friday to get it. So the kids during that time are going to do everything to be on their best behavior until Friday. Kids are in the inner city. Mom, can I have pizza? Yeah, sure, we go outside. Cool. Go outside, you throw some shit down inside the pizza store, come back inside, she's still giving it to him.
Yeah.
So what's the purpose? It's like, and I think that happens because of, I think that didn't just happen by coincidence. I think it happened by design.
It is. It's interesting that you say that too, because even so, where you're talking about like, if you want the pain now or later, and it goes right back into how we are in like even fitness, right? Like fitness and eating healthy, right? Now you get the pizza now and clog your arteries for the for the future, right? Versus now, like you eat healthier now, and then you have so now you sacrifice the pizza, right? Which is that's the pain that you're sacrificing. You're sacrificing that pizza,
right?
And then now in the long run, you have a healthier life. Whereas the opposite way, you eat the pizza now, right? Which is, yes, you get that satisfaction, but you're building up to have a unhealthier existence in the long run, because the goal is to live long and healthy. We want to be functionable.
Right. You don't want to be 60 and in a wheelchair being pushed around.
Yeah.
That's not a quality of life. Not saying that you're going to kill yourself, but that's not a quality of life.
Nah.
You want to be able to move around like a bunch of these 80-year-old men that just move, men and women that just move around all day long and don't need anybody around them. So that's how I would want to live if I make it that old. God spare my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. And the next thing is too is like, you ever see like what I never knew this, but like in some of those schools, especially like out in Colorado,
yeah,
they teach their kids about like money management and all these stuff
in schools.
In middle school, they start.
That's very good.
That's why I said this is not by coincidence, bro.
Yeah.
Don't ever think it's by coincidence. It's all done on purpose.
Yeah.
Like all that shit is done on purpose. When you see both sides of the spectrum, you're like, oh, I understand now. It's a reason why they want you to stay where you're at.
Yeah.
They don't want you to move. They lie and tell you that you're not going to be able to do better out there because there's no jobs outside of the city, which is a complete horseshit, man. It's like everything, most of the things that we've been told is horseshit. I think everybody by now knows that. If you don't, then I would question where you've been living all these years. But most things that we've been told is horseshit. That's why, I think my goal now is to go against the grain in everything that I've been taught. My bad.
Yeah.
So everything that I think was the right way of doing, like go get a job and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I try to go against the grain the best as I can now. I want to stop doing that and do what I see the people who are quote unquote living this miserable rich life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to live like that. Let me be miserable with the money at least. At least money won't be a misery for me anymore.
Yeah.
At least I'll be miserable, probably hate my life if that's the case, and that's true. Because we all heard that. For some reason, we all heard these people are miserable and broke, and then I'm looking at videos now where this rich billionaire white man on the yacht with all the fine shorties and everything, and I'm over here worried about money and he can give two shits.
Yeah.
They might be around him because of money, but at the same time, he doesn't care.
That's true.
He's getting the pleasure that he wants.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're worried about money. He's probably not.
Yeah, he don't gotta worry about where he gonna eat, where he gonna go.
Yeah. That's something that we worried about. He can give two shits about that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how these people are miserable. And the thing is, I remember Drake said something in one of his songs where he was like, I can't remember the actual line, but he was talking about like, if this is heaven, then I'd rather not leave Earth. And he was like, they say that everybody who is rich is miserable, but I'm not. I gotta find the actual song and tell you. Okay. It was a song with him and Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I see the concept.
Yeah, it's like, and to be honest, that's the truth. It's like, if I tell you that this is not what you want to live like, and you can see that this has been happening for years, right? If you think about it, we all heard the famous line, "Money is the root to all evil," right? This is what they painted us in all our heads, right? Mm-hmm. Money is the root to all evil. So we're cool with not getting money, right? Mm-hmm. It's easier for a camel. It's easier for a camp.
A camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've been told all these things. It's so crazy that we can remember these things.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's not by coincidence. It's purposely designed that way, right?
Yeah.
But then the actual verse is, the love of money is the root to all evil.
Yeah.
Yes, you're not supposed to love money. You think that billionaire love money? No. He has no care for it.
Yeah. He loves what he can do
With the money.
Yeah.
The money is a tool of his happiness.
Yeah.
So he don't care about the money.
Yeah.
The money, when you see them, people who has money don't care about money that much to think about. Is the ones that don't have money, like myself.
Yeah.
We're gonna care about money, and that's where the love of money comes from. I think somebody who trades 8 hours a day to go to a job, you love money.
Yeah.
I do think so. I do it now, and I can admit that to myself. Like, I think if you trade 8 hours every day, every single day at a specific time, you go in, you don't like it, but you still do it. You're doing it for the love of money.
Yeah.
This man who does it, who gets up and lives the life he wants to live, money doesn't even probably come across his desk until like every end of the week when he's doing his budget meetings or something.
Mm-hmm.
He don't love money like that. He knows that, all right, cool, the money gonna come in. I already got all these stuff set up. What am I gonna do this week? Or what business do I have to tend to this week?
Yeah.
I think that's when you hit true life at that point. Like, you're living your free life at that point.
Yeah. And I also think that, you see, when you don't have money, you can't help. You're selfish. You're more or less selfish, because if you're working, most of the times people are working just to pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
So you're working just to pay bills. Who else can you help other than you? Nobody else.
No.
But when you actually have money, then you can. If your mom is sick and you have to pay for it, you can help her.
Right.
But
Even just a random person come say, hey bro, I've been going through this for like a couple months now, you mind if you can help me? And he probably be like, I just need $1,500, man. You got money. You like, what's going on, bro? Like, how many times have you seen people say, here you go,
yeah.
and just give it to them?
Yeah.
And that's what God wants you to do. If you have it, give it, right? But now it's like, if you don't have it, you can't give it. Like you said, you're selfish. You're trading your time for money. You loving money.
Yeah.
Because you probably spend more time thinking about money than you think about God himself.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you really like that camel? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Is it I can question this. Not all rich people think the same, because some of these rich people think that their money can get them out of everything. I'm talking about the honest rich man that fear God,
Yeah.
right? He's probably gonna get to heaven faster than the broke man. I think so, because he's gonna go to the extent of learning everything he can about God, in which he has the funds to go and learn about God, right?
Yeah.
Not now, if you're broke, we can't get up and go to Jerusalem. We can't get up and go to the Middle East and find out about all these things that we've been reading in the Bible. How do we know they're even true? Not question the Bible. I'm just saying, like, how do you know they're even true?
Yeah.
These people went there and like, actually, you put a picture, you put like an image to what you've been reading all your life, and it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Everything makes sense. You even go there and find out things that you didn't read in the Bible, that somebody can tell you, oh, this is where they did this and this. We don't get to experience that.
That's true.
So I think that whole saying where, well, that it was a Bible verse, correct?
Yeah.
Right. I think that they purposely said it the way they said it to make us think that we shouldn't chase what we should just get right with God, in which I agree. But you can't do that without having this distraction gone.
Yeah, because at first, I forgot what it's called, the Maslow hierarchy of needs, right? Which is on the base level, right? Is the basic things that you need for survival, right? And the further up you go, so basically you need food, shelter, clothes, things of that nature, right? Once you have that, then you can focus on, other things. And then I think closest to the top is where they talk about like spirituality, right? And if you don't have nothing to eat, like, it's hard for you to focus and say, yo, let me go to church.
Right.
I'm here starving right now, and I'm trying to pay attention in church. Like, a lot of times, if you don't have the basic things for survival, then it's harder for you to actually tune in.
Right.
Which it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be, but that's the reality of things. Because like, even with the Nation of Islam, like Muslims, they fast. They fast to get closer to God, right? They they put themselves to those things just to actually, get closer to God, deprive themselves of those things, right? But in the everyday man, it's very hard for them to say, yo, let me go get closer to God when I'm starving, or let me get closer to God when I don't have no place to live,
right?
Let me get closer to God when I see my kids suffering.
Right.
It's hard to do that. Yeah,
I agree. And that's why I think that, like, yeah, a lot of these things that came about that we've been taught growing up, like, we need to, like, go back and evaluate all these things and just stop passing them down to our kids. Like,
Yeah.
stop having kids and letting them listen to that crazy stuff. And you have a child, you're supposed to be a parent, you be a parent. You tell your kids what you think is right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's yours. They're yours. They're all yours. You tell them what's right or wrong. But yeah, so I think they're your kids. You should take the time out and you teach them the things you want to teach them. Some people call it breaking generational curse. Those are generational curse. I think so. For us to be growing up, for me and you, we grew up in the same environment, technically, right? And we know the exact same things. This is something that we came from two different families, right? You could see that they just passed these same crazy sayings down to us, not even quoting the Bible the right way. But because whoever told them to read the Bible that way and let them memorize this, and you're not supposed to follow this, you just worry about God, and I'm gonna worry about the money so I can get right with God without the distraction of having to deal with the money and having to work and save my time off for this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I work 9 to 5 as well. It is a form of slavery.
It is.
I'll be honest, it is a form of slavery.
Yeah, the only difference is just that now you're paying to be a slave.
Right.
Yes.
They give you just enough to pay to get them richer, and you just nobody cares about you.
Yeah, that's all. Because back in the day, it was just that they fully owned you,
Right.
Where they gave you a place to live, right? They gave you food. Now you're just buying it from them.
Right.
You're paying. Hey, let me pay to stay here.
Right.
Hey, let me pay for this food. Yeah.
Did you know that I actually read this in a Ramaswamy book? I don't know if you know who Vivek Ramaswamy is. He was one of the presidential candidates that's coming up in the Republican Party. He said that they give us just enough to survive, right? And he was like, if you think about this, when the slaves were just free, and like outsiders, like I'm talking about like maybe in the 60s, 70s, like outsiders came in to want to do business, right?
Yeah.
They didn't allow them to do them inside the suburban neighborhoods. They allowed them to do them inside the cities. They were like, you're not going to compete with me. Go take their money and come live with us. So that's why inside all these little bodegas and stuff, you find no black person owning them. You find Syrians owning them, Middle Easterns owning them, because they come with that mentality, because most of them over there are entrepreneurs, right? You find 1 or 2 Hispanics, but you find more white people owning them, just have the Hispanic working in it, because he don't want to come there and show up. He just want to know what his shop makes every day. Yeah. Most of these people who own these bodegas and all these buildings in the Bronx, none of them are black. Yeah. We just live there and pay them and just give them all their money while they live in the good neighborhoods. It's ridiculous. When you sit down and think about like how hard black people are getting fucked, dude, it's really bad. Just sit down and think about it. We spend all our money and give it back to everybody else but
our people. Yeah.
And then every time you have somebody that comes up and stands against it, you do them like Marcus Garvey, send them back to where they came from. Yeah. I just hope Dr. Umar Johnson doesn't go out the same way, because if you follow like what he's trying to do, he's trying to create a school, and he wants the school to be like a dorm-in. Yeah. For he's actually trying to target inner city kids. And he wants to teach them straight away from the old traditional way of like, you know, teaching school and teach them things essential for life. Yeah. And he's been 3 years trying to open that school, man. Certain permits are not being passed, and it's like you can see clear as day what's happening, man. It's like, and the thing is, they try to come at him and say that it was for segregate. He's bringing segregation back. He's like, if a white child wants to enter, he can come and learn about Black history if he really wants to. Yeah. Right? It's all good. Yeah.
And I like what he's doing. I like what he's doing, because if you because you're creating a community still. Once you create a school, you create a community, right? And that's similar to what I want to do. Whereas you see like you gave an example earlier, if someone does taxes, right? And they're part of our team, then they do all our taxes, right? Like if someone does hair and they're part of our team, they do all our hair. Like, we just try to keep the money circulating within us, and we build up. And the same thing what he's doing, he's trying to create that community where you create that nice tight knit where everyone helps each other, and we just feed off of each other. And by you having a school where everybody And it helps. It helps when y'all are the same, complexion. It does help because
I mean, everybody feel comfortable around their own
your
kind.
own people,
Like,
yeah.
I'll just be honest.
because
It is what it is.
the Jews are segregated, right? They have their own communities,
Schools,
right? This same thing.
own hospitals.
Yeah. So,
But then for some reason, when a certain group try to do it, it's a problem,
Yeah.
right? It's just like the affirmative care or whatever it is where they're saying that they give black people a certain spots in colleges and shit, right?
Yeah.
I find this very, very funny. Now, here's how I think about this. Okay, cool, you give it to them, right? There's a group of people who don't like it because they're saying that nobody should be preferenced just by their skin color. But you have been preferenced for all these years.
Yeah.
You have actually known the boss has been your uncle, or the boss been your uncle friend, and he got you the job.
Yeah.
This has been the stuff that we know about the good old boy system all these years going forward,
Yeah.
right? But then now, the roles are being switched. It's so wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not true. They're not qualified. Okay. Were you qualified when you got a job? When you went to a job, did you know how to do the job? No.
They trained
You got trained how to do the job.
Yeah.
Is this person inside your mind that dumb still that they can't be trained? That's what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah.
If you're telling me that, then I'm probably gonna look at you differently. Why you think that they're dumb? But it makes no sense. They saying that they're not supposed to be having certain jobs. This not supposed to be this. That's not. Come on, dude. Like, you had the same privilege that they're just getting.
And if you even look at it too, right? If you look at it this way, like, if you have a job, not even a job, but you have a business where you're hiring people, right? The first set of people you're gonna hire, people that like people that if me and you cool, and I'm looking for a job, you're gonna be like, yo, I can work for you. Like, yes, they might be an outsider, but that's just a natural way of things. We're always gonna choose people that we feel more comfortable with or people that we're closer to before anybody else. That's just natural. So yeah.
I agree. I don't think racism exists anymore like that. I think it's more of like certain people just want things to stay the same way. I don't think that the white and black kids our age really care.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
They don't.
I don't think the white ones care,
Yeah.
and I don't think the black ones care either.
Yeah.
I think it's the older people give a shit, and that's why they're almost dead anyway. So you just let them keep going until they pass away. They're the cancer of this earth, to be honest.
What, old people?
The older ones. The older ones are the cancer. That's why when they try to move any movement, they try to kill the older generation out, because they're going to be the more rebellions against it, because that's not their norm. You think the kids that are born this year gonna think anything wrong with being gay?
No.
When they get our age,
No.
they're probably gonna be gay themselves. So it's just, when you want things to get moving, you have to get rid of the rebellious group. It's usually the older group is gonna be the rebellious group.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that point where we're gonna be the rebellious group, and we're just gonna have to just die off to get their objective passed. That's just it.
They say just keep evolving. Society just keeps evolving.
Yeah. It is. You just have to get rid of the cancers, and it's usually the older people in society are going to be the cancer, because they're not going to want to adapt to the change.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. Not saying anything is wrong with being gay or anything. If you want to be gay, then you be gay. But the older folks are just not going to accept you. Stop looking for people to accept you.
Yeah.
In that sense, just be what you want to be. If
Yeah.
that's what you really choose. If that's what you truly want to be,
Yeah.
stop worrying about all the people who don't accept you. Do what is best for you. You have to answer to God or whoever you believe in when life is over.
Yeah.
If you do believe in, you have to live your life the best way you want to live it.
Yeah.
So stop caring about what everybody else think or who accepts you or who like you, man. If you want to be gay, if you want to be the next gender, do that. Like, nobody really cares.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Like, I can care less if the dude across the street is gay. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he can care less if I'm black.
Yeah. I have two more questions to ask you before we wrap this up. Right? So one of them is, what's one book that you've read that impacted your life the most?
The Atomic Habits by James Sena.
Yeah?
I think that's his last name, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's his last name.
Yeah.
I have to double check that. Yes, that was the best book I ever read to date.
What changed, how did it impact your life so much? Like, what's so compound?
I think when he explained how small habits develop the big habits that you actually want. The smaller things you do, develop the bigger habits that you're looking for. Because sometimes we can think to ourselves, especially like with the gym, we can all relate to this. I want to go to the gym 5 days a week.
Yeah.
If you've never been to the gym 5 days a week, you're not going to go to the gym 5 days a week. At least the first 2 weeks, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
Right? But then if you say, I want to go to the gym 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you probably will more likely achieve that.
That's true.
Right? Because you have a break in between.
Yeah.
You do that for 2 weeks and you're like, you know what? I'm going to start going on Tuesdays too because I feel good on Tuesdays. Right? You go on Tuesdays, now you go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday you don't, and Friday you don't. Friday you go, Thursday you don't go.
Yeah.
Then eventually, because you're so accustomed to going to the gym afterwards, that Thursday you're gonna be like, why am I sitting at home? I'm just gonna go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then when you catch yourself, you're going Monday through Friday. It's just the small patterns you have to create and get rid of the bad habits.
Yeah.
That's where I got very, very sucked into his message. He said that get rid of the bad habits and create smaller habits to create those neurological pathways to your brain to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
You have to basically reprogram yourself. I think so. You have to reprogram yourself to an extent.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all gotta reprogram ourselves because they've been programming us for all these years. So yeah, we gotta rewire the programming. All right. So now, last question, right? Because as you know that this is a Bread Bubs Army podcast, and what we do is we highlight all the soldiers of Bread Bubs Army, which you just happen to actually be a real soldier too. But we highlight all the soldiers of Bread Bubs Army, and what we do is at the end of it, you let them know where they can find you, right? If there's anything that you actually need help with, because we have soldiers in every aspect of life, right? So if there's actually something that you actually need help with, you can just say it out. Hopefully they'll see it and they'll reach out to you, and you guys can network, because it's just at the end of the day, it's just one community where we're trying to network with each other, and we're just trying to build together. So you can tell the people where to find you. If you have something that you want to highlight and you say, I need help with this, and then also you can just leave a word of wisdom for the soldiers that's seeing this.
Okay, so I would say you can find me on like Facebook, Adrian Doway on Facebook. I don't have any other social media handles. Try to stay off of it, less distraction.
Yeah.
But that's like the main one you could probably find me on. And I think some of the big things that I wanna harp on. I would like to get accountability group together.
Yeah.
In which we don't all have to have the same goals, but we all keep each other accountable. That I think would all help excel, because nobody really wants to. You can find me on like Facebook, Adrian Doway on Facebook. I don't have any other social media handles. Try to stay off of it, less distraction.
Yeah.
But that's like the main one you could probably find me on. And I think some of the big things that I wanna harp on. I would like to get accountability group together.
Yeah.
In which we don't all have to have the same goals, but we all keep each other accountable. That I think would all helps us excel, because nobody really want to see somebody else doing better than them, in a sense. Not saying that it's a bad thing, but it's like we all have friendly competitions. You know what I'm saying? It should all be in a friendly way. So I would want to have an accountability group, if I can, with people inside the Bread Bubs Army. I think that you have a very good group going, and I think that you have solid people that are driven and motivated day in, day out. From the things that I've seen you post. So I respect that, and I think that would make a very good accountability group for myself. So I'll be looking forward for that.
I'll build it out.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I would say one thing I just want to leave with the people is just like, it's not how you're doing it, it's how long you're doing it, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you do it long enough, you would get what you're looking for out of life. Consistency is everything. Be consistent, go and do the same thing over and over every single day, and I think that you would achieve what you want to achieve in life. I really believe that.
Yeah, bro.
So,
It's a nice interview, my brother.
Shit.
Yeah, man.